Want to hear a little story of how my Mormon priesthood leaders came over to my home to collect money from me when I was dying of an ovarian tumor? After discovering a mass in my abdomen the size of a grapefruit and having surgery to remove it, I became very sick. I was septic. I actually did die and have a near-death experience. And I spent about 3 years fighting for my life. I never left my room except by ambulance or if somebody carried me downstairs. Someone down at my Mormon ward realized that my temple recommend had expired. The temple recommend is this little piece of paper that you have to go inside the Mormon temple. I used to call mine my ticket to the celestial kingdom because if you can answer all the questions to get your temple recommend, then you're also worthy of entering the temple, and you can kind of assume that if you die, you're going to go to heaven and live with God. I was obviously very worried about where I would go when I died because I had died and I was fighting a very uphill battle to stay alive. So the ward clerk calls one night, talks to my husband Jake, and tells him that they would like to come renew my temple recommend for me. Normally you have to go to the church to do this. I actually felt like it was such a nice thing for them to do, to come to me to renew my temple recommend. Not like I could get out of bed, not like I would be going to the temple anytime soon, but it was such an incredible symbol to me of worthiness into the celestial kingdom that it was really important. So both the bishop and the stake president came to my home. I, of course, was in bed. You saw the picture. At this time, I wasn't able to even feed myself. I was just propped up in bed on a bed wedge. If I needed a bath, it was either a sponge bath or my husband would physically get me out of bed, carry me to the bathtub, wash me off, and put me back in bed. I used a bedpan for the bathroom. I was completely disabled. So everybody leaves my bedroom, and first the bishop, dressed in a suit and tie and his white shirt, sits down on a chair beside my bed, and he asks me all the temple recommend questions about if I have faith in the restored gospel, if I'm honest in all of my dealings with my fellow men, etc. He gets to the question about the tithing. Have you paid a full and honest tithing? And I had to tell him, I honestly don't know if I have. I've been a little bit out of the loop. As a Mormon, I was under command to pay 10% of my income to the church. If you don't pay tithing, you don't get a temple recommend. And if you don't pay tithing, you aren't worthy to enter heaven. Again, my prognosis was very grim, and I didn't know if I would survive. Going to heaven was one of my primary concerns of the moment. The bishop finishes up, leaves the room. The stake president comes in, asks me the same questions, and at the end I told him, I'm not sure that we're up to date on tithing, so let's talk to Jake. Jake comes in the room, we kind of discuss when's the last time that we've tithed. I had been disabled for almost 3 years. My husband